We have an update in regards to FTX with the upcoming U.S. House Committee meeting. This is being set for December 13th. We have some more details here from an article from Cointelegraph. I will have a link in the description for them. I will share my thoughts and my opinions on this at the end of the video. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion. It's my own research. I highly encourage you to go do your own research. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into the news. The title of the article here, U.S. House Committee sets December 13th date for FTX hearing. The House event titled Investigating the Collapse of FTX will follow a similar hearing in the Senate Agriculture Committee scheduled for December 1st. The United States House Financial Services Committee has announced it will be holding a hearing to investigate the events around the collapse of crypto exchange FTX. In a November 28th announcement, House Financial Services Committee Chair Maxine Waters said lawmakers had scheduled a hearing aimed at exploring the collapse of FTX for December 13th. The hearing, expected to be part one in perhaps a series of hearings around the impact of a major crypto exchange declaring bankruptcy, was first announced on November 16th but not scheduled. This being from over on Twitter, they say, following the fall of FTX, the urgent need for legislation has never been greater. At FSC, Dems anticipated this need and have already been working for several months under the leadership of Chairwoman Waters with R.M. McHenry to craft bipartisan legislation. The House committee said in its previous announcement that it expected to hear from individuals and companies involved in the events that led to FTX filing for bankruptcy under Chapter 11 in the District of Delaware, including former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, Alameda Research, and Binance. Though Bankman-Fried was reportedly still based in the Bahamas at the time of publication, New York Times journalist Andrew Sorkin said on November 24th the former CEO intended to give an interview in New York City on November 30th during a conference. The U.S. Senate Agriculture Committee has also scheduled a hearing on, quote, lessons learned from the FTX collapse for December 1st, in which Commodity Futures Trading Commission Chair Rostin Benham will appear as a witness. It's unclear if Bankman-Fried will also speak to the committee should he remain in the country following his New York itinerary. FTX has been a target for lawmakers and regulators around the world following the firm filing for bankruptcy on November 11th. The Australian government reportedly said its Treasury Department planned on implementing regulations aimed at improving investor protection in 2023, while the Monetary Authority of Singapore has faced scrutiny for not warning investors about FTX. All right, so if this is going to be handled in a truly bipartisan manner, as they are stating here, then absolutely go ahead and move forward, do your proper investigations into this. This is something where I'm seeing a lot of different arguments being made politically through social media, and frankly, it gets very tiring seeing all this kind of stuff. Whatever your political stance is, at the end of the day, guys, we want to make sure that the money that we have that is ours is actually safe. And your perspective view on what's the best route for that, it's your perspective view, but there has to be a common ground eventually made from both sides. So having this bipartisan element coming into play could be a very good thing. This is, again, my opinion on this. Maybe you guys disagree, but we all live together. We all have to have money and trade and do all these kinds of things. So whatever routes that we're allowing to be able to have these means of communication with our money, whether it be with fiscal money or with crypto, I think that it's important that there are degrees of regulations that are in place. Because if you don't want regulations to be in place, then stop complaining when things like Mt. Gox happens and when FTX collapses and Three Arrow Capital and all of these other major issues that we've seen where people say like, oh, I love crypto. I love everything that's going on here. And then we see failures in the system because we don't have that bridge from fiat to crypto and crypto back to fiat properly set in place where there's trust and there's validation and there's a degree of security and protection that's in place there. And yes, someone could say, well, these are the failures of individuals. They didn't protect their own keys well enough. But you got to understand, just because you or someone that you know has taken the proper steps to protect themselves, things still happen. This is still an evolutionary industry space that's taking place here. Heck, people can have some contract be connected. I just saw this happen. So you go into MetaMask, perfect example. You can actually have MetaMask and have the ability to disconnect your crypto wallet from certain other contracts, right? It has that built-in feature that's there. But did you know that that's not actually fully true? I had done a test and I went and looked on the Binance Smart Chain at one of my wallet addresses, and lo and behold, I was still connected to, I think it was 4 or 5 different old contracts. And then I had to go through the additional steps in order to revoke those. The average person is not going to know what any of this stuff is. They're not going to know how to do these things. They're not going to go and figure out that, oh, there's additional routes that I need to go double check for this and that. The average person is just like, look, I work a job, I get paid. Now, if I want to put it in some sort of investment, I have some options, one of which could be cryptocurrencies, right? But it's very speculative. That is just an honest fact, right? It's very speculative with this stuff. If you go to put your money in there, you're taking a risk. How do we minimize those sets of risk for the common person? And I think that's where you have regulations coming into play, because there are centralized players who are trying to create that easy access point, right? Now, if you create a decentralized avenue and it's fully trusted and everything else, it may sound great on paper, but as soon as there's some sort of an exploit, an issue, what happens? People are going to be screaming to the top of the moon that someone needs to be held accountable. That's what always seems to come into play with these things, right? What's going to happen as a result of this? We'll have to wait and see. This is the start of an investigation at FTX. By all means, I think Sam Bankman-Fried did an absolutely horrendous job, and he should be held accountable for his actions and his inactions on things. He cost a lot of people a substantial amount of money, right? At the end of the day, regardless of your political beliefs, he messed up big. He should be held responsible. Anyways, let us know what you guys think about the idea of if we should have some regulations set in place. I'm not saying regulate everything to the moon and back, right? I'm not saying that. But I think it's important that for the average person who does not understand even the most basic of things with crypto, that there is a channel that's set in place that allows them to at least dive into the water, get experience with it, and there's a level of protection that's there and that they can feel safe. And then you still have all of these other locations and things that if they want to take those risks, they can. But there needs to be some kind of a safe space. That's my point of view. Let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Again, I have a link to the article down in the description below. And there's a promotion going on with Webull. They do run these promotions from time to time, but this one right now is absolutely incredible. You could get up to 12 free stocks. You can also trade cryptocurrency on their platform. I have that referral link down in the description below so you can see more information on this. Basically, you open up an account, you get 2 free fractional shares. If you deposit any amount, you get 4 to 10 free fractional shares. These are probably going to be valued around $3, $4, that kind of a range, but they could go up to $300 or $3,000. And so, you guys, if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. It's an option. The market's down right now. I get it. And that's why I definitely want to keep stressing this for you guys, is because if you want to jump on this, it might be the best time to get some free stocks. But I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know if the market's going to go down even worse. It's been a crazy year. Anyways, there you go. Thank you so much, guys. Also, thank you to my Patreon supporters. Double shout out. Thank you to WeLoveSafeMoon.com, Victor Vegas, and SafeMoon Oz for being higher level patrons. Also, thank you to my YouTube members for your guys' support. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, like button. God bless, and we will see you in the next episode.